kind of a reasonably medium to short slideshow presentation along a bunch of EKGs and hopefully on the board leading into quiz 3, which will be first of the month. All right, so that's our job. First off, we call hypertrophy different names. You can call it hypertrophy or enlargement or abnormality or dysfunction. Use those different names. You already had, if they come out here and a couple years later and we're in a hospital, you could say like left atrial abnormality, left atrial enlargement, they might use a different term. The most common term by far is hypertrophy. And if all the terms are appropriate except for really dysfunction, some of the hypertrophies are actually physiological and good. And that really doesn't go with dysfunction. So I don't know if I really like that term. Some of the other ones are okay. Abnormality can be good abnormality. It's abnormal, it's good abnormal. Okay. Anyway, you can see the different terms. Is when you have enlargement, like if you lift a lot of weights and get skeletal muscle, biceps, whatever, enlargement, that's hypertrophy of the skeletal muscle. This would be hypertrophy in the heart itself. So like here, muscle through here, hypertrophy. It can also be the chamber can be a little bigger too, where the blood is. Really the muscle. And if you have, actually I'll hold on that comment in a second on the idea of physiological hypertrophy, I'll come back to. But anyway, that's what we're looking at. It can be all the chambers, one of them, two of them, three of them. Often it's just one, sometimes it's two. Usually one, two, three. So right atrial, left atrial, right ventricular, left ventricular. The chamber is yours, where's the atrial, ventricular, okay, for left. So it can be anything like that. And the heart can enlarge to a get a little bigger or a lot bigger, sometimes depending on the extent of the problem or situation. So EKG can be very pronounced or it can be kind of subtle. But we'll look at when we look at examples and we do any kind of quizzes or exams stuff like that, we'll have pronounced situations. Unless we call it suggestive, which I'll talk about that. Very pronounced situation. Any questions so far? 1, 2. It's kind of intro material. The etiology is interesting in that it can be pathophysiological, disease. And so you can kind of reason it out. Like I have hypertension, and oftentimes the left ventricle, which pumps blood, to the whole body, will hypertrophy. You get the blood pumped to the body. You have resistance, hypertension. So somebody with hypertension might get, left ventricular hypertrophy. Can be common in that situation. Common sense, right? Or somebody has pulmonary hypertension where the blood is sent to the lungs. What ventricle do you think would be hypertrophy? Right ventricle. Because the right ventricle is pumping blood to the lungs, and it could get bigger to compensate. Try and get stronger to go against that resistance. So, make sense so far? Let's go over our valve anatomy from anatomy class. Valve. Let's throw out the let's see, aortic valve. All right. Let's say somebody has aortic stenosis. Stenosis is where you have coming out of your aorta, you have like a narrow stenosis. Aortic stenosis. Here then, the aortic stenosis. What chamber do you think would hypertrophy? Left ventricle. Because the left ventricle pumps blood through the aortic valve, and so if it's narrowed, it gets bigger. Right? Well, somebody had doesn't ever go back to a little anatomy. And what if somebody has tricuspid stenosis? What chamber do you think would hypertrophy? Tricuspid valve connects what? Right. Yeah, that's it. Right atrium to right ventricle. So you have right atrial hypertrophy. So if I have my right atrium, right ventricle like that, the valve is tricuspid valve. That's narrowed. My right atrium has to work hard against that, so you get right atrial hypertrophy. Or mitral stenosis. Left atrial hypertrophy. A little anatomy review. What about pulmonary valve stenosis? Right ventricle. Yeah, right ventricle is pumped through the pulmonary valve. So the idea here is you go back and probably look at your anatomy over the weekend. Any valve that's stenosed, narrowed, will cause hypertrophy to the chamber that has to pump through that valve. Through the valve. Right? So, again, for example, aortic valve, the left ventricle pumps through the aortic valve, aortic stenosis with the LVH. So think about that. Probably in an EKG course, since that's more background information, I might have one multiple choice question or anything. the no big deal. But the main thing is that we're looking at, pathophysiological hypertrophy. Physiological is possible too. And this is why I don't like that term dysfunction. Physiological hypertrophy is generally something that does a lot of aerobic and resistance training, kind of a combination of both. And what might happen is you might get a little bigger chamber and a little bigger muscle, not a lot, but slightly bigger, and that's a good thing to have. Okay, physiological hypertrophy is working out a lot. And usually what hypertrophy is the left ventricle a little bit. And as we looked at Bill's EKG, he's kind of like a slight left ventricular hypertrophy, not a disease state, definitely a good thing due to good healthy lifestyle of exercise training like that. So that's a good thing. And then oftentimes the right atrium, because of the venous return of blood, the superior inferior cava, the right atrium, will get a little larger sometimes. It doesn't have to, but sometimes you can check that a little bit. That's good. Good venous return, good cardiac output, all kind of stuff is a good thing. So if somebody gets a little hypertrophy early in life with a lot of exercise training instead of quit later on, the heart will atrophy back to where it should. There's a lot of research on it. So it's a win-win. It's a good thing to have, and it's not going to hurt later. And to keep exercising and investing. And it's throughout. So any questions on the etiology of hypertrophy? Anatomy and physiology? Prerequisite course? Go to the EKG. And but I want to look at first, look at the atrial hypertrophy. There's a little chart on the board where we'll go through and we'll take, anything will be examples and stuff like that. So with atrial hypertrophies, you can have two of these. Obviously, right atrial hypertrophy or left atrial hypertrophy, either one. You could have both. It's not really a likely combination, though. You usually have one or the other. It's not a likely combination. It could happen. So we're really looking at trying to diagnose, one or the other or normal. And we want to analyze the P waves. We really haven't done a whole lot with P waves so far. But again, the P wave is atrial depolarization. So to the extent you're using that for atrial hypertrophy, P wave. Just look at the P waves. And you can look in other leads and stuff like that, but if you're really focusing on lead 2 and V1, so lead 2 and V1, not V2, V1. You want to look at those. And what you want to see then, so I have on the board atrial hypertrophy, P wave 2 and V1. Normal is to have a little bit of an upright P wave in lead 2, but it's usually not that big. It's less than 2.5 millimeters, an upright P wave, but nothing real big about it. It's kind of there, just a little peak. That's normal. And V1, usually it's not very pronounced. It can be a little bit up, a little bit down. It can be what's called biphasic. Biphasic means a little bit up, a little bit down. Okay. This one. And it can be kind of flat, almost where you don't see it. Those are all normal, those 4 possibilities. So a little bit up, a little bit down, biphasic, kind of flat. Generally not very pronounced. Just a little bit. And if you look at, I was looking at Bill's EKG earlier, there's a little artifact in there, but he has a good normal P wave in each area. 2V1, and not that big, not pronounced P wave. Right. Okay. Any questions there? Okay, on the other side of it, then you have right atrial hypertrophy, and this is where you have in E2 a pointed and tall P wave. Pointed and tall, greater than or equal to 2.5 millimeters. And you can read some references that actually say 3 millimeters. So it's sort of tall and pointed. And we'll look at examples. In V1, it's mainly upright, around the upright, usually greater than or equal to 1.5 millimeters. It can be all upright or mainly just a little bit down. So kind of upright on that. We'll see a bunch of examples coming out. In fact, right on. The 22 is a page. We talk about left, let's just take right. On 22 in the core spec, where the arrow is, how does that P, there's other stuff going on here and all EKG, but how's that P wave look to you? Kind of so little P wave, or is it kind of tall point anyway?
Tall point.
Tall and point, yeah. Clearly tall point. Ever see that, where the arrow is? 22. And then look at the, that's just a road stroke. The 12 lead on, look at lead 2. How does that P wave look?
Pointed.
And almost as big as what?
Starway.
Darwin. That's kind of a real flag right there. Look at Bill's B wave compared to his R wave, huge difference. This B wave here is actually approaching the size of that R wave. So that stands out pretty well. And then if V1, is it upright or down? Upright, we'll point to it. Clearly, page 22 is right atrial hypertrophy. We'll get some practice ones up here in a bit. I want to do the kind of want to do left and then do practice. When I put like internet examples, I put them in the slide. So I've already kept them in there. All right, so right atrial hypertrophy. What do you think? Do I have like tall pointed? All right. Examples okay? 22. Let's see more. Criteria, everything good. A valve could be stenosed. Tricuspid. Let's do that. Any questions on? Okay, the other possibility then on the in that atrial area is left atrial hypertrophy. And so LAH would be the abbreviation. On Monday, we're going to, I'll have to be a little careful with the LAH abbreviation because there's also left anterior hemiblock, LAH. So I'm going to be a little careful now and I'll talk more about it on Monday. Left atrial hypertrophy. And what you get with this is a D wave in B2. They're kind of notches, notched or camelback. Some books say camelback, some books say. And it takes a little time because of the notch. It's kind of spread out, broadened P wave. And what's actually occurring when testing this, you're getting the left atrium is bigger and slower, so you actually get right atrial depolarization and then left atrial depolarization. So you get kind of like a delayed left atrial depolarization in this hypertrophy. So the P wave then is usually greater than or equal to 0.12 seconds. That's 3 small boxes. Kind of broad P wave like that. And if you look at V1, it's predominantly inverted. It could be a little off in that inverted, mainly inverted. And you can use something called the 1-by-1 rule, where you have like a millimeter across and then a millimeter top to bottom, or more. So like millimeter here, millimeter down, top to bottom, 1-by-1, mainly inverted in V1. Atrial hypertrophy. Let's look at 23 from horseback. And we have a top. Is that a what is that? 12 lead? Good. And in lead 2, how does that P wave look?
Come back.
Yeah, come back, notched, but wide. How about V1? Mainly what?
Inverted.
Mainly inverted. And so that looks pretty strong for it. If you look at some of the strips below, then the second one down, where it says lead 2, and you get notched, kind of enlarged EKG. V1, you have that mainly inverted. And then the bottom strip gives you a good chance to measure the 1-by-1. And why don't you go ahead and try to measure that. Go at the top, the isoelectric line from left to right, and from the middle of the P wave all the way down the bottom of it, up to down, like that. See what kind of numbers come up with. Those are large millimeters, bigger millimeters. Take a minute to do that before we call out an answer. So about how far across? Maybe 2, I think. The 2 area, 2-ish. And then about how far from isoelectric line down to the bottom of the inverted P. 1.5 maybe. So you don't have to be perfect with that. 2 and 1.5, definitely more than 1-by-1. Everybody see that okay? Can I walk around that out or? Point it up? Okay. Take here. Cross, it's about 2. And then there's, in that 1.4. Beats the 1-by-1.
There's only 4 more pages than this. Jack, you're never gonna get this. So sweet.
Yeah.